So, the Master Duel meta post Invincible raid. It's going to be a really, really interesting format, as we got some leaks from the MasterDuelMeta.com that showed us that Blue Eyes out of all decks is getting support. But what exactly does that mean for Invincible raid and the strategies in it right now? I'm going to go ahead and start off with Dinos, guys. This has always been a very, very solid rogue deck. Adventure Token has definitely made its mark on the Master Duel scene. And of course, Dinos can play really well with that. I think that using Token Collector inside of your Dino deck is still the way to go, because not only can you trigger your Lost World, you can also destroy your opponent's tokens, whether they're playing Adventure Token or if they're playing Sword Soul. Sky Striker is literally one of the most spiciest decks. I genuinely do not care that Kagari is at 1. Players are starting to realize that the Adventure Token works really well with Sky Striker, because essentially you put spell cards in your graveyard. We're going to be less about Sky Striker cards and more about using those Sky Striker cards with 3 spell cards to be able to do whatever you want. Kagari, Hayate, those are really just arbitrary. Seriously, Widow Anchor says take your opponent's monster and negate its effects. Make a Predaplant Vert Anaconda and summon Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer forehead, and then use your Sky Striker cards to disrupt your opponent. Sky Striker is definitely in a really weird spot, but I think it's a very, very good deck. Altergeist, I mean, we've gotten here. I've seen some good Altergeist replays, right? And I'm just saying, guys, any of these decks can make diamond with the right player. For some of these decks, the really right player and a lot of luck. But these are going to be categorized on how easy they are to advance inside of Master Duel for most players. Altergeist literally needs Multi-Faker to 3. I don't even understand why it's still at 1. There's no reason for it to be here. Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer completely like trashes on this deck. And it can't really play Phoenix Enforcer well either. Oh my god, guys. Despia. Is this hopium? Is this opium for me? Because you guys already know I hype the living daylights out of Despia. So is it hopium, guys? Let me know if it's hopium. Guardian Chimera does so much for the Despia strategy, and we're getting it in Invincible Raid. Being able to fusion summon into a monster that allows you to destroy up to 2 cards and draw a card, or vice versa, I think is going to be huge for the Despia strategy. We now have a fusion monster to go along with the cards that we have, and keep in mind, Despia only gets stronger when some of the new sets Yo! They're saying I'm coping hard. I think that is good. I think you guys don't know about Guardian Chimera control, and we'll hopefully see some in the next following few days. Beat Troopers. Oh man. Yo, I think Beat Troopers are spice. So what Beat Trooper had in our TCG format, it can make Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer like other decks, but this deck can search Maxi. Like, searching Maxi might be exactly what the deck needed to put it into top contention. I'm gonna say that this deck is extremely spicy here, because there are non-special summon decks like Outlich and like Fluundereese, but against those other strategies, searching Maxi, yo, and you can still make DB and all that other stuff. Blue Eyes, guys. I'll never steer you wrong. I won't tell you some things that I don't wholeheartedly believe. Blue Eyes is in casual tier. Like, we called it solo mode before. Now it's casual mode, since you can go ahead and use this deck and play casual with it. It's going to be pretty fun. Cyber Dragon, I'm not even going to lie. Look, this is pretty much memeish right now. It should be casual, but you can still use Vert to make your Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, or make your Chimera Tank Rampage Dragon OTK. Not gonna lie though, it's pretty casual / meme tier right now. You're not gonna get a lot that you would want off of Blue Eyes. Same thing with Dark Magician. It's pretty casual, guys. I like every single time we talk about these decks and say that they're low tier, it's always somebody in the chat that'll be like, whoa, these decks are really good, you're just playing it wrong. And we're like, no bro, that's not how it works. Like, I remember there was one guy, he was like, yo, my Dark Magician can slap any deck. I just beat the meta. I was like, send your replay. He never showed up. He never showed up. He never showed up. Dark Magician is not it's casual tier, guys. It's tier 1 in casual. Like, if we made a casual tier list, it'd be up there. Ignister is a diamond worthy deck. This deck has 1-card combos into an arrival. And keep in mind, guys, without kaijus in the main board, if you're not main boarding kaijus, that can be an extremely problematic card to get over. Good Ignister players know how to play around Nibiru, which is being played less because of decks like Fluendereese. It's just overall a really, really powerful deck. I think it's one of the better decks to be able to get you to Diamond. DDD? Oh, man. I want to put DDD in Diamond worthy. I genuinely do. But my biggest problem with DDD, guys, is that you got to know how to play DDD. Like, you have to literally be like a huge pilot player with the biggest brain in the world that doesn't make mistakes. The best thing about DDD and Master Duel, though, is that you have Heavy Metal Foes Electrobite. So, like, that's pretty cool. But, I mean, other than that, I think that DDD is just going to require way too much brain power for the average Master Duel player, which seems to eat glue more than a TCG player. Dinomorphia, guys. We're in that meme tier with Dinomorphia. Yo, let me get some Dinomorphias in chat. Yo, this deck is not bad, but right now it doesn't have the necessary card to make it oomph. Once it gets Dinomorphia Rexterm, I think that it'll be a solid rogue deck. But for right now, meme tier, that's where we're going to go ahead and put it. Eldritch 100%, you know, just because Fluendereese is so good, I think Eldritch is a very solid, spicy deck. It could definitely be able to compete with decks like Sword Soul, because that deck does struggle against Eldritch a bit. It plays under Maxi, which B Trooper can now search, and it can give Fluendereese the business. So I think that it's a very, very solid, spicy deck. What really hurts Eldritch, in my opinion, is that Conquistador to 1. That, like, sucks. But other than that, this is a deck that nobody wants to play against because of all the floodgates. Shaddolls, guys. Shaddolls are really good rogue. Yo, Guardian Chimera. Have ya summoned a Guardian Chimera with Shaddolls? Like, it is the perfect feeling, guys. It's the best feeling for this deck. Unfortunately, I don't think it will do that much more. Shadow Winda is good against a lot of special summon heavy decks, but with Fluendereese and Eldritch being running around is let's not talk about that, right? Live Twins, solid rogue Yu-Gi-Oh deck. You know, I thought that with the new Live Twin monster that this deck would be a lot better than what it was, but it turns out, like, even with Maxi, like, this deck, it doesn't perform the way that it should perform, or at least the way that you would think it would perform to be able to just outgrind your opponent. I mean, I think this might be, like Mr. Taco Shark says, one of the best waifu decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, but Rogue is exactly where it's at. The deck that everybody hates, Fluendereese, is diamond worthy. Let's not talk about it. Let's just move on. This deck is just ridiculously, I hate this deck. And Fluffles, I think, are very good as a spicy deck. Guardian Chimera definitely helps this deck, allowing you to get more draws to your deck as well as a destruction card. But I've always had high regard for Fluffles because Master Duel is best of one. You can't side against Fluffles. If it goes second, it can just catch you out of nowhere. How the Mighty Have Fallen, because Pendulum, they're pretty rogue. Pendulum's pretty rogue. Like, let's just say it, let's call it duck a duck at this point in time. And this is where I have fear for DDD, because Pendulums aren't a terrible deck, and if I remember correctly, they still have an FTK, but it isn't like you need a brain to be able to play this, a bigger brain than you probably should need to get boards that aren't great. So, like, I think both of these strategies' problem is that they both lose to Maxi. This deck is built to go second, so, like, you need to be able to, like, if it's not OTKing you, then I guess you got it. Where these two decks, they want to establish a board presence and then win. So, Earth Machine, guys, that is 100% a rogue tier Maxi exists in this format. It's almost a meme tier with how Maxi exists in this format. But regardless, it's still a really powerful deck that can work under cards like Skill Drain, Gozen Match, and Rivalry of the Warlords. I think it's really solid. Marincess is another solid rogue deck. get support later on in the future, and I think that will help change the tides for the Marine set strategy to be a lot more powerful. Heroes, solid rogue deck, guys. Really rogue. I hate that this deck is so freaking expensive. Like, everything's an ultra rare for this deck. It's kind of crazy, but it's a really solid rogue deck that has some of the attributes as Fluffled, but has a decent going first board. I feel once players start losing Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, this deck actually gets better for some odd reason. Agents. It's meme because I memed it. Yo. I have hyped this deck up way too much, only for no one to ever submit a replay that was good enough for it. And it to not do anything in the TCG. I'll take that L. I'll take that L, all right? It's just not a good deck. Drytron, pretty spicy. It's pretty good. You know, it's cool. Love that it keeps on playing no matter ritual cards it has. Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer helps the deck a ton. Just a very solid deck. Doesn't get any new support though. Nordics, guys, with the new support from Nordics, they go right into the casual mode where they belong. Like, yeah, that's not. This isn't even a debate right here. Plunder Patrol, I think, are a very solid, spicy deck. A lot of players don't understand the interactions with Plunder Patrol. Kind of like how players don't understand like DDD and Electromite. But this deck is actually a lot easier on the eyes. Like, it's a lot easier to play. I think it's a very solid low-end tier 2 type deck. Prank Kids, guys. Nothing's really changed for Prank Kids. This is kind of like ridiculous. Like, am I tripping, guys? You still got Meow Meow Mew. You got Vert Anaconda. You got the Adventure Engine. This is literally one of the best decks in the entire Master Duel. Our players we playing enough of this, right? Like, can we hit it, please? It's still ridiculous, and we don't care about Maxi. It's ridiculously good. This stands for Adventure Synchro. I think Adventure Synchro is solid tier 2. The deck is cracked. The problem is I don't think people play it enough. Like, the deck is probably, I think it's actually diamond worthy with the correct player. The reason why is because it can play Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer with tons of hand traps. It's very hard to play against because it plays through hand traps. Maxian Nibiru, or Maxian to disrupt its cards alongside of Nibiru, was really one of the only things that stop it, but Fluundereese kind of keep that number down. Rocket Dragon Link, solid tier 2 deck. This might be one of the better tier 2 decks as well, all right? Roxy's the 2 wasn't for a Prank Kids hit. Roxy's the 2 was for Adamantipator hit, which is crazy. Rocket is just one of those decks that won't die, guys. You make Chaotic Ruler to Chaotic Magical Dragon, you search hand traps, and you keep playing. We're still in the TCG where this deck has been still good. Solomon Great, solid rogue deck, guys. Easily one of the better rogue decks in Yu-Gi-Oh!, but that's just my opinion. Making Access Code Talker on turn 2 was pretty good. We can't wait to get Borrel Dragon, which will help this deck out, or the Rocket deck out tremendously, like Solius has said. Plants. I think plants are probably one of the better rogue decks. One card full combos is always good, right? And the protection with the Adventure Engine, not bad, not bad. Now, Sword Soul is actually not a diamond-worthy deck, in my opinion. Allow me to explain. What happened in the TCG, and what's pretty much happening in Master Duel, is that Sword Soul is not a bad deck, but there are other strategies like Adventure Synchro that can play the Sword Soul engine without all of the Sword Soul cards, still go full combo, and make the Sword Soul boards. It has a stronger going first board. It has access to Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. This deck is literally superior to this deck in every single way. What I find really odd about Sword Soul is that it does have, like, it still has Arch Nemesis Protos. And, like, Master Duel is confusing. Like, it still has it. And, like, it's an okay deck. It's not an over-the-top deck. It's okay. It's decent. Not better than Adventure Synchro. Phantom Knight, easily a diamond-worthy deck, guys. The Adventure token protects the Phantom Knight strategy so they can pop off. And Tri-Brigade actually takes a back seat because it can't necessarily run the Adventure engine. It can run the Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer engine, which is really good. No support from the new set, though. Unchained is one of the better rogue decks in Master Duel, guys. We're putting it here. One of the better rogue decks in Master Duel. I think that it's going to be a really, really powerful strategy for years to come. Virtual World is a solid tier 2 deck. This is another one of the strategies that, like, I don't understand. Virtual World still has True King of all calamities. Did we just forget about the card and stop playing it? Like, Virtual World's problem has always been consistency. It can't consistently win because it will cost you bricks from time to time, but it's still a really solid deck. In Zombie World, I ain't gonna cap, it's mean tier, but we're playing it. We're playing it. We're still playing Zombie World. We're gonna get Zombie World to dive it. We're gonna get Zombie World to dive it because that's just what we do. The problem with Virtual World again is bricks. It has the potential to be one of the better decks, but why play this deck with bricks when you can combo off with any one of these decks with no bricks? These decks are ridiculous. Well, yeah, they're pretty much ridiculously consistent. They have like 12 consistency cards. Virtual World, not so much. It's prone to inconsistency issues. It's prone to not having the boards that actually win games, where these diamond-worthy decks can, and you know, this is copium that you guys said. These diamond-worthy decks, they consistently make good boards, but honestly, this is probably here. You guys are probably right, but I'm gonna keep it here for copium. And that is all that we have for the tier list post Invincible raid. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. What do you think about this tier list? Did I put a strategy too low? Did I put a strategy too high? Is there a strategy missing, and where should it be? Also, be sure to check out these other videos if you want to see more amazing content, and I'll catch you on the next one.